When talking about politics in Germany and America, it can be way different. In Germany, talking about politics among friends and family as casual conversation can be open and frequent. But in America, talking about politics can be a minefield. Let's talk about this subject. Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Banks, and I love to compare Germany and America because these are two countries where my heart is involved. And in the next couple of weeks, the American election will be held, or actually, it's being held right now. Early voting has already started, and it's interesting all of the conversations I am having about politics, but only with my German side of the family and friends. I have yet to really have many political conversations with my family in America, and there's a lot of reason behind it, and that's why I want to discuss this topic. In Germany, talking about politics is part of the casual conversation people have with not only just their friends, but acquaintances, people they just met. And people can easily talk about policies, the different political policies, without anyone feeling like they're being personally attacked. I recently experienced that when I went to celebrate someone's birthday. I met people from this person that I've never met before. And interesting enough, the conversation of politics came up. And I hate the subject that people love to bring up with me is immigration, naturally, because I'm an immigrant. But anyway, the bottom line is they opened up with that conversation, not about the weather, not about sports, but they dived right into politics and want to share my opinion. And I would think that, wow, this is crazy, but it's not. German conversation about politics normally focuses on just the policies and not on the different personalities or the people that are setting them up. And doing so ensures that most people will stay on facts versus different wide range or extreme ideology. Now, do disagreements happen? Oh, of course they do. Do people get upset? Yes. But there's an unspoken rule that we'll try to keep it civil and keep it on the up and up, keep it on the facts, not the strange nuances. But as long as you are able to back up your information with legit sources and factual and keep it factual, then the conversations are allowed to keep going. And for the most part, this happens. Now let's focus on the USA. When speaking with family and friends about political things, it can often turn heated. Most people have aligned with a certain party or a certain candidate, and anytime that someone talks about these individuals, then normally the conversation becomes very, very heated and fireworks go off. Most families in America do not have the same ideology on many things. A lot of times it might be a generational gap where the older people have more conservative views and the younger kids have left or liberal views. Or it can be based on different things, but the bottom line is normally these are not the times when people want to bring up these conversations. When people start talking about politics, it quickly goes from policies to just focusing straight on the candidates. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris did this, or former President Donald Trump is going to do that. And then it quickly unravels and just becomes a very, very big problem in the family. So why is that? I believe in Germany, there is a stronger understanding or trust in the government system and its institutions. And having conversations about these different topics can help lead people to better understanding and also improving their viewpoints. A lot of times people aren't trying to change other people's minds, but they're trying to have them their perspective and sharing their knowledge. Also, having multiple parties in Germany gives people the chance to say, well, you know what, I agree with the CDU mostly, or I agree with the FDP or the SPD or any of the many parties. You can align with a certain party. There's 5 or 6, I think, that are part of Bundestag today, part of the federal government in Germany, which means you can just say, I prefer this party, I prefer this other party based on these reasons. America, it is more polarizing because yes, we do have other parties. But if you want to get things done in government, it's very polarizing because there's two main ones. And the winner take all system that we have in America, you either going to align with one or align with the other. And that's going to normally be the problem. And a lot of times people point out, well, what about this? Why can't you like this? Well, to me, in America, because we have mainly a two-party system, it always becomes us versus them approach. And most people also believe their political loyalty and their connections are also reflections of their personal values. And by you switching to the other side, sometimes people say, well, how can you agree with this when you're supposed to be, as they say, you're supposed to be a Christian person? If you're supposed to be a Christian person, how can you agree with this? And that's when it starts to become very personally attacked, because they start questioning your values as a person, and then how can you associate with a certain party, which both parties or people on both sides try to force you to think a certain way. And that's another huge problem in America compared to Germany is that political ads and political conversations are way better regulated here in Germany, meaning that you don't have such an extreme influence from the medias like in America. Now, I try to watch German media. Of course, I don't understand everything, but just from my viewpoint, it's not as extreme. If you look at America now, though, America, every channel on the TV news channel is just focused on the election. And you always see how they are lighter on one side and then lighter on or harder on somebody else. There's not any channels really in social media or on national television that are straight factual based. Some try to be, but of course we know it's about ratings. And how do you get ratings? You have to choose a side sometimes. When you try to sit in the middle and try to just straight the facts, some people become bored and or not excited because we like to see drama. And so much of that guides ratings, unfortunately, guide our political situation. And of course, that means that social media as well as television in general plays a huge role in feeding this knowledge. And a lot of times the candidates will say a lot of nonsense and they're not fact checked. Or if they are fact checked, it's by a channel that is an opposing channel and not by the channels that reflect better on them. So if you already are a fan of one party, you're normally going to watch the channels that are supportive of that candidate, meaning that they're never going to fact check their own candidate, which if you're getting your information from the news source, if no one is fact checking them, calling them out, then you're going to align with them and agree with them. It's hard to find a news media source in America that sticks to the facts, that will criticize both candidates equally, and also still maintain a chance to be very, very popular, and which means they have also good ratings. They're going to be promoted. So what is the point of this video? The point is that can Americans learn something from Germany? Maybe. The goal is that even in America, even with all this political genre, that we can find somewhere or find a chance to talk to each other without becoming too extreme. Let's be truthful. How many of these policies are we 100% in support of? And that's something that I would love to discuss more with other people. I discussed this with Germans, and I discussed it with I discussed it with a lot of Germans. It's hard for me to discuss this with Americans. If my channel ever grows, there will be a thing that I would love to discuss, is talking about certain things. It's hard to find people, especially on these media type channels, where people actually listen to other people's perspectives. A lot of times when we're looking for content, we're looking for stuff that supports what we already believe or is similar to our own ideology. And because the world is becoming more polarized, and it's harder to find those situations where we just speak respectfully and stay factually and discuss these things, because it is healthy for us. Here's the thing. When I talk to my American family and friends, it quickly delves down to party lines and the loyalty. But to be honest with anyone, how many of these different major issues is it completely black and white? Immigration, for example. There's good things about immigration, there's negative things about immigration. But when you choose a party, you have to choose one side or the other, unfortunately. And you can't try to find that gray area to make it right. When it comes to the war in Ukraine and Israel, It seems like a lot of people are being aligned one way or the other. Either they're for supporting Ukraine, or there's some people just completely against supporting Ukraine. And the same with the war in Israel. Either you 100% support Israel, no matter what, or you want to support Gaza. Now, I'm not saying you support any criminal activity. No one supports criminal activity. But how should our country respond to that creates the political conversation, and it's 100% divided. And then we can go to pro-choice or pro-life. There's the Democrats are pro-choice, the Republicans are pro-life. There's too many people that really even try to discuss the gray area. I mean, that's with every topic. But I would say, at least me, I'm honest enough to admit it, that with each of these topics I've named, I'm in the gray. I'm not deep on one side for one, and I'm not 1% on the other side. I'm in the gray, but I'm willing to admit that. They're also why most of the times when I discuss the people with my friends around me, most of the people are also gray on these topics as well. They're able to admit when something is not right and go against and weigh the pros and the cons and discuss things. The problem is, though, it's just right now we're just so polarized. So with that, let me know if you're able to discuss these type of topics with your friends and family, whether in Germany, whether in America, whether in France, anywhere in the world. Can your family and friends discuss these topics in a fair and non-judgmental way? And are you willing to discuss it with other people? And also be honest with yourself and be honest with me. How many of these topics are you 100% gun-ho for? And how many topics are you rarely in the middle about? With that being said, signing out. Peace.